Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope the week got off to a good start for you. Just another Monday here in South Alabama, and hey, loving life, loving life. Let's get right into it today. I want to talk about how to get lean on a raw food diet. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you'd go down there and subscribe now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. Oh, so many fallacies out there and just so many people going in the wrong direction when it comes to losing weight. Everybody wants it quick. Everybody wants it now. Everybody wants it easy. If only life were that way. Well, it's not really that hard, but it does take a little bit of patience, and I find that it works out a little bit better if you don't get all gung-ho and try to rush it too much. I just like the little by little method. One thing I like to stress on this is don't restrict. Don't restrict. Do you hear me? Don't restrict. Now, you might lower your calories just a little bit, but there's a difference between playing with your calories, lowering them a little bit, changing your diet up to get lean, and restricting. When I'm talking about restricting, I'm talking about people that, are just not getting anywhere close to the adequate amount of calories. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't even lose it all, but if it does, at least a quick weight loss. And I don't like the quick weight loss, because in the end, it's not about a number on a scale. It's about how we look and feel, and how, are we lean? Because if you restrict, if you lose that weight too fast, and that's what I see a lot of times, and I understand it. When people have a lot of weight to lose, they want to get it on off of there. They want to get it off fast. But I find when people lose weight too quickly, yeah, I knew there was going to be. Mondays are the day where they all come out in their lawn, so there'll be a little bit of noise. But when people lose the weight too quickly, I tend to see skinny fat. Have you ever seen those people? They're kind of skinny fat. They look like in clothes or like whatever, you'd be like, okay, height, weight, proportionate. Take the shirt off or whatever, and they kind of got that skinny fat thing going on. I find if you do it a little bit slower, and like I say, this has just always been my experience. This is just coming from experience. I find that if you do it a little bit slower and the weight comes off a little bit slower and you lean out a little bit slower, you tend to have a little bit leaner, harder body when it's all said and done. Don't make the big swings. That's the one thing right there. That's why I can get lean pretty quickly. Even this past winter, I put on like 7, 8, 10 pounds, and I wasn't fat. It was, it was solid, but it was kind of that, we all tend to do that in the winter time, even like athletes do that, or when they're in off season, like these bodybuilders or these fitness competitors, whatever, in the off seasons. The good ones don't blow up. There's not like this huge disparity between their weight in off season and in season. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is not to push people into doing competitive type stuff, but just that mentality of watching what other people do. I like to observe. I learn in life by observing. So even like people that are doing stuff like that I don't really have the interest in, I can learn things from them. And I see a lot of these fitness competitors, a lot of bodybuilders, and actually a lot of bodybuilders and fitness competitors that aren't even plant-based that do this. And it's just so, also too, it's stress on the body. It's heavy. They get real lean, and you see just chisel, like lean, striations, definition when they're in season or when they're getting ready for a show, or some of them just like when they're getting ready for a photo shoot. And then afterwards they go into their bulking, and a lot of times bulking is just one of these like, put the feed bag on, I'm just going to eat whatever. And there's a huge weight difference between their in season or their peak and then their off season, sometimes 20, 30, or 40 pounds. I like to keep it a little bit tighter than that. I find within a 10-pound range, you stay tighter, you stay more toned, you stay more lean than when you have these back and forth changes in your weight and in, your body composition. I've found this method, and like I've said this before with weight loss videos, you know, to some people, I give them that standard advice. Get rid of the scale, throw the scale out, ditch the scale, because it gets into people's heads. But you can use that scale effectively, and I've talked about that in the past. When I'm getting lean, I get on my scale every single morning. Like when I'm starting to switch it back around and I'm like, okay, I'm going to lean out here. I get on my scale every single day, and that's where I see about these increments. Because you guys know I don't put stuff in chronometer, and I don't do this, and I don't have my little notebook out calculating. I don't know exactly how many calories I take in every day. It's more volume, and it's more like visual for me. Okay, I see how much I'm taking in. So as I'm working that scale and I'm weighing each day, I go, okay, eating like this for 2 or 3 days affected like this. And then I'll dabble with it, and I'll play with it, and I'll watch the scale. And if the scale comes down too much, like if say cut for 2 or 3 days, I'd be like, okay, it's moving too quickly. And I just kind of use it like that. And I also use visual too. I mean, you know, I like to make sure, where am I getting tight and toned? Now, as a 54-year-old guy, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't get as tight and toned and as lean as I did 7, 8 years ago. Even when I was on the standard American diet, because, you know, I still did I would do lean versions of it, or I would like get real fanatic about doing the cardio or whatever. Now I don't have to be fanatic, but you can see I have trouble areas like everybody else. I have this little area in the middle right here that doesn't completely lean out, but you know, more or less. So I use the visual, I use the weight on the scale, and I also use how I feel. You know, I just kind of, when I'm real lean, I start getting that feel to me. Now, what do I do? How do I do this? I just eat, and I eat all day. I eat all throughout the day. You guys have seen my what I eat in a day videos before. I eat probably 4 or 5 times throughout the day. Everybody always asks me about the intermittent fasting. Do I intermittent fast? I don't know. I guess I suppose I sort of intermittent fast a little bit by definition, because there's so many different types of it. I don't have time to learn the definitions. Basically, I eat dinner at 5 o'clock in the evening. 99% of the time I don't eat after that. I eat dinner at 5 o'clock. I get up, now I start taking in some calories. I drink watermelon juice, but it is 10 o'clock right now and I haven't eaten. So except for the watermelon juice, I'm going for 5 o'clock in the evening. Probably my first solid meal, or you know, some mangoes or a smoothie, will be 10:30, 11 o'clock. So there's a large period of time in there that, yes, I'm not consuming any food. Fat. I cut out the fat for periods of time. I stay low fat. Now, we just did the video on fat yesterday, so don't want to be contradicting myself, but yes, for leaning out, I go uber low on the fat. When I'm really wanting to lean out and I really want to, like, you know, see it happen, like really start popping, I cut out the fat. I cut out the overt fat. And I use very little. You know, I lower it way down. So, yeah, I mean, you know, to a certain extent, the fat you eat is the fat you wear. But once again, not with it, you don't have to be extremist in any version. But I will say this, the closer you get to low, no fat when you're trying to lean out, will give you that little bit of an extra oomph to it. Activity, I like to just think of it as just being a furnace. Instead of doing this incessant, constant cardio, you know, like, okay, I gotta go do my cardio. Just always be moving. Become a perpetual burning machine. Just be like a furnace, that your body's just always slowly burning. And I'm not an exercise physiologist or science, big workout science type person. But I believe when you're just doing the slower stuff and you're constantly doing it, ergo the walking, that's why I was almost getting to a point. And another reason, well, I cut back a little bit on the walking because I was becoming obsessive and it was taking up too much time. I was walking in the morning, walking in the afternoon. But also, too, I think that was part of it. I was just walking morning and evening, every day for about 6 weeks or so there, to where my body was just constantly burning burning. And that was when it was actually getting kind of tough to keep the weight on. So instead of thinking about this excessive exercise, gotta go, gotta burn those calories, just find something you enjoy and do it. And do it consistently, do it every day. Don't worry about like running if you're not a runner, doing it very fast. Just go out and walk every day, good long walks. Other types of exercise, riding your bike. If you do, hey, some people, especially if you're younger, you may be a little bit more active and you do like to participate in a sport, but just be very consistent. Do it all the time. Get into this mentality of constantly moving your body. Think like a lean animal, move like a lean animal. Lean animals are constantly moving. Watch people. You know, just observation. You don't have to ask questions, you can just observe. Watch people when you go out in public. Watch people that are, you know, that don't look that healthy, that don't look very athletic, that don't look lean. They kind of always, they lumber around, you know, they're like, they don't move. I notice how people move. Healthy, lean people, active people move a certain way. Unhealthy people, overweight people, they move a certain way. You can always tell that person by how they move. So just get in that mentality. I walk all the time. I walk fast. I walk with purpose, even if I'm not out per se taking a walk, you know, just out for the sake of taking a walk. You know, I'm constantly moving. I go to the gym. Even before I moved back to the States, you know, when I was in Costa Rica, I was doing stuff. Even before I got back into the gym, I was constantly moving. Movement. There's a theme to this. So it's really not all that tough. I'm always, it's like I'm trying to unlock something. I'm trying to think of the words that will unlock to people in there and go, ah, now I get it. Getting lean, you know, listen, and I understand if you're not lean, you're like, and you've never been lean, you're like, well, it's not easy, it's this or that. I used to think the same thing too. I used to do all these same things. So don't think it's like I don't even know what it's about. Used to do all that stuff. Used to go to the gym and have to think about that. Even after my workout. Okay, got to get on the treadmill. Got to do that 30 or 45 minutes of cardio that I hate doing, blah, 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 to lose the weight. But when you change your mentality, and I'll finish it up with this, whether it comes to your health, your appearance, the leanness, whatever, don't always be looking for quick fixes. Have some patience. Be willing to do the work. Be willing to adopt a new lifestyle. Just think as a lean person. Decide I'm going to become a lean person and start doing the things that lean people do. It's these time constraints. It's the impatient that is wrecking people, that is causing people not to succeed in almost every aspect of life. Take it away from the food, take it away from the health. I talk about this all the time. As humans, we want it now. We live in this world, this society now where we're used to instant gratification. We want it, we want it, we want it. We don't have that patience in the mind. A lot of this social media and being connected to the internet is rewiring our brain, and that's kind of giving us problems too. I was pondering this last night, to where we don't have that patience. We don't have that focus. It's like we're all we all have attention deficit disorder. We just like need it now. We're overstimulated and we just can't think in terms of next month, next week, whatever, or little by little by little. We want to see that drastic change. We want to go to bed tonight. We want to wake up 3 days from now and poof, there it is. But that's not how life works. So just little by little, do the work every day and enjoy the process. I know everybody says that all the time and it's becoming kind of cliche, but just enjoy the process. It's not like the road to getting lean is enjoyable. You've never understood that before. It's never been enjoyable with the gym methods and the diet methods or whatever. The road to getting lean can be enjoyable. So just enjoy the ride, and when you get there, you get there. Boom, end of story. So enough for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this message. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again tomorrow. Love you guys. Peace.